Hey, what do you say, gang? Huh? It's been Sean. It's been a long time. Uh, I took a look at my YouTube channel, and the last video that I did was 4 years ago. That's how long I've been away from moderating and keeping some stuff up. Um, Besides the things that you saw on Facebook when I was with one of my colleagues on our way to Ukraine to visit his relatives. And today's January, the 8th of January, and I'm going to do two videos today. This one I'm going to do in English so that everybody that lives in America, Canada, and any other English speaking country will understand what's happening, at least right now, here in Germany, and what I experienced traveling from Germany to Ukraine. And this is important information for all of us so that you understand what's happening with our taxpayer money, uh, as well as the Germans, as well as the European Union, as well as the United States and Canada, that everybody is forced to give up their cash and pay taxes, and the governments are doing with our money what they want without any consent from those who are paying. Um, Interestingly enough, is that if you don't pay, you go to jail. Um, but things like that are starting to become irrelevant to me because I'm really getting sick and tired of what diverse politicians worldwide are doing. I'll probably get into some financial information today also. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm somebody that I think following the COVID 19 um, pandemic, plandemic, and diverse other things that have been going on in the world, I have turned out to get very involved on listening to the finance market and trying to understand and learning how our money actually works. And the way things are going today in the financial world, the way things are going on in the news media, whether it be German, whether it be American, whether it be Canadian, and things like that. Um, Interestingly enough, is that if you know history and what happened during the Depression, or we go back to 2007, um, basically you become to understand that everything that you do or that are told to do financially, you need to do the exact opposite of what the mainstream media and all these top financial advisors are telling you to do. Um, the best example is that how the Rothschilds became the richest people in the world through manipulation. When England was battling France at the time, one of the Rothschild messengers um, made it back to Great Britain and let out the alarm that the Brits were losing to France and Napoleon. So what happens? Naturally, everybody in panic wanted to get as much money as they can. They sold their stocks, they sold their silver and gold and whatever other assets they had. And the truth was completely different. England won the war, but before that was released, everybody sold their assets. The Rothschilds bought them up at bottom price. And when England won, naturally everybody was broke after that. And the Rothschilds, all the stocks and all their assets went up, skyrocketed. And that's how they became the richest family in the world. And you see things like that happening today. Well, not to get off track here at the moment and to tell you folks what I've experienced and everything that I'm telling you right now about what's happening in Ukraine and the countries that I traveled through with my colleague Oleg. Getting to Ukraine, it was over the Christmas holidays. I saw that all with my own eyes. So there's no manipulation to this story. I'm telling you what I saw. What I saw, I speak the languages. I'm up to 12 languages right now. Right now I'm starting to learn Vietnamese and Romanian. So soon I'm hoping that I'll have 14 languages under my belt. But let me start from the beginning so this way you have an idea on what's going on with myself. 4 years ago, that was the last time after the person that I thought was my partner and I split up. Well, I kind of tried to get a radio station going, and I just noticed that that a good part of the community that we were working with, meaning that were listening to us, because we were one of the first German alternative radio stations that were talking about themes that not too many people would really talk about. Most of them would say, "Yeah, you're a bunch of tinfoil hat wearers and conspiracy theorists and things like that." But that was nothing of the cause. The fact is that when you talk about freedom of speech, you have the right, according to the Constitution's First Amendment, at least in the United States, is that you have a right to your own opinion. You have a right to speak freely. Well, what had happened is that after the split up of the team, Amok Alex and Frank Stoner, I said to myself basically, okay, fuck this. Now it's time for me to start thinking about myself. What I did is that I went to school. I got certified as a project manager for renewable energy. I tried doing that back in 2009. That was when Germany was the #1 on renewable energy worldwide. And I couldn't convince companies here in Germany that I would be the perfect subject for them as a sales representative, technical representative, because I do have an electrical background. That's the reason why I came to Germany, because at that time I was working with 12 volts, especially alarm systems. As a matter of fact, that was back in 1985. And in 1995, 10 years later, I opened up the sister company or sister office of Clifford Electronics Incorporated. To that time, the owner of the company was a man by the name of Zev Drory, an Israeli. Uh, and I left the company in 1998 because of differences um, on how things were being handled. I had a problem with the Procura. Um, he was an alcoholic, and inside of 3.5 years, I constructed the first. I have the patent for uh, mobile homes, an alarm system, because the problem that we had here in Germany was that many mobile home owners, when they would travel to Spain or something like that, France, wherever it may be, Portugal, um, many of them got robbed on the road while they were sleeping. So I put together an alarm system. I have the patent for it. Didn't make me a millionaire. It didn't even bring me 10 cents. It just cost me a lot of money to apply the patent, because as soon as you change something in the construction that is registered as a patent, that's not your model anymore. So it cost me a lot of money to get it patented, but it didn't help me. Anyway, Clifford Electronics was sold then in 2000, yeah, somewhere around there. And Zev Drory became the CEO of Tesla Automobiles. So basically, Elon Musk and myself, we worked for the same guy. We worked for the same guy. And after Elon Musk took over the CEO position of Tesla, Zev Drory went on the board of directors. So, so after all of that, I was making movies and things like that, and I worked for ARD and ZDF, making movies for them and making music videos. So I had a couple of years up until 2001 where I was working in the movie industry on the production team, set assistant, regulating where the generators park, where the physicists would have their campers and things like that, so that they could do their makeup and dressing for the different actors and what have you not. Well, anyway, after that all happened, I got a supporting role in a film as a guy that runs amok. And since 2001, that's the way I got my nickname, Amok Alex. And up until this day, it seems to be hanging in there. So if anybody wants to look me up, you can go into your favorite search engine, you put down Amok Alex, and I think you'll find about 250,000 pages on myself, which for me, it doesn't mean anything to me. But whatever, I'm just proud of my achievements. I had the opportunity to always do something that I loved. Well, after the show between my former, well, can't say partner, because that's not how he actually saw me, but I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. I wanted to get into what I did for myself. I decided to go back to school. I got my certification as a project manager for renewable energy in every section. sector, meaning biogas, meaning wind energy, meaning solar energy, photovoltaic, uh, geothermal, and hydrogen also. And I used to have arguments with my uh, teachers, docents, whatever you call them, uh, because I knew that electric cars were not the future. And I was arguing with them about the point that hydrogen is the future and that's the way it's going to go. And what's happening today, I mean, you see it going on right now that all companies, GMC, Porsche, Ford, they all stopped making cars except for BYD. Uh, BYD, as a matter of fact, is a Chinese company, and you've probably seen a couple of videos on Facebook that I put up. And BYD stands for Build Your Dreams. Well, I'm wondering if that's the accurate name for the company, because when these batteries catch fire, it's basically, I would call it BYF or DYF. Your dreams go up in flames or something like that, just to short it up, because that's exactly what's happening. And that's fucking dangerous, man. And a couple of people have commented on that. Yeah, hydrogen, what's it called? The different gases that are produced when a lithium battery goes up in flames. Well, I told him, I says, at least it doesn't emit much CO2, which most of the people just don't understand, and it's just totally ridiculous, is that CO2 is so important because that's what our trees use to convert it. They suck the CO2 out of the air and they convert it into oxygen so that we can breathe. So these guys that are sitting there, yeah, CO2, we got to stop that because it's warming up the climate. Have you seen the fucking snow? We've got -5 degrees here. So we're melting. It's a bunch of bullshit. And if you don't see that, I can't help you with that. But it's a fact. It's a fact. Without CO2, we cannot live. So, following my passing my tests and receiving my diploma for renewable project manager for renewable energy, I went back to school again. And being that, I guess some would say, is that, Al, you're a language buff, but I took a class to certify myself as a German language teacher. And for me, that was a backdoor. Should the shit hit the fan, I could take off to any country. German is a very asked for language in Asia, in South America, because if you see all the language students that are coming here to Germany to learn the language, it was only logical that I do something like that, because I have the opportunity or the skills that I could work even at my old age. As a matter of fact, turned 63, and I just want to give a shout out to everybody that thought of me and wished me a happy birthday. I thank you so much. Thank you so much. That you took the time out, a few minutes of your time, to think about this old man. Well, anyway, when I got my teaching certificate, that was exactly on that day that we had the lockdowns. So, and during the lockdowns, what had happened is that I started contemplating on, okay, what are you going to do? I started working for a company here in the town where I live, doing fire protection. Fire protection, or learning how to do fire protection, that was basically the option of learning this skill, um, what was more important for me was that everybody that worked there spoke Russian. Um, some of them were very weak with the German language, so that's how I got into a position as a project manager. And then after that, I went on the construction sites because of discrepancies with the boss. Fucking idiot. Um, and One day I told him to kiss my ass because that's just the way I am. If you don't like what I say it to your face. So there's no misunderstandings. You know, I'm that type of person. And I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck what you think. You have the right to your own opinion, but I'm not the type of person that's going to go tell somebody and you're going to get the message from somebody else. No, I'm going to tell you to your face. If you're an asshole, you're a fucking asshole. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, and there's no misunderstandings. That's the reason why I do that. Well, after that, after I got sick of that, I built myself up a name in the construction area, and now it seems that with the help of one of the project managers from a very large company, if not the biggest construction company here in Germany and internationally. The company's name is Goldbeck. We take care and do everything from steelwork through concrete, through floor laying, through adjusting things and repairing. And a lot of the companies that, if you work in the construction business, you know that there's sometimes a lot of fush. And we call ourselves the Goldbeck Special Forces. Because we repair everything that the other guys fucked up. You know, I even have a company. This is my company shirt, one of them. You can see on the back, IBMS Group. IBMS stands for Intelligent Building Management Services and Security Systems, because that's what we do. And we also, we work for a company called TL Concept, which they are basically doing industrial exhaust and air intake. For example, in an elevator shaft, they have what they call a smoke release valve, and in case of fire and stuff like that. And that's basically what we do. We work for only two companies. When I have some time in between, naturally, there's a couple of other companies that call me, but mostly we don't have any time because we're constantly busy. And anyway, I started out by myself. 3 months later, the second guy that left the same company that I was working for came to me. And then, again, a month or two later, a second guy left the company, came to me. Starting the new year 2023, another one left the company, came to me. And then I got a German friend of mine that joined the company. Good credentials also. He's a crane operator, and he's also he has a license for forklifts and things like that. I do also, because those are things that are relevant, especially when you're working on industrial buildings. And then a sixth person came along, And here we are in the new year 2024. And we have so much work that I don't know if we are going to need more people or not. But at the moment, we have um, the Potsdamer Platz in Berlin. We're doing fire protection there. Then I have in Bavaria 2 construction sites for Goldbeck. And I have one here in Chemnitz. And there's another one that's in the process of getting ready, which is not too far away from Chemnitz. It's going towards Leipzig, which is about 75 clicks from where we're sitting. So we got enough work to do. Now, to understand how this all works in our company, 2 of the guys that I work with are Ukrainian. One of the guys that I work with comes from Moldavia, and one comes from northern Russia. So, interesting, huh? American, Russian, 2 Ukrainians, Moldavian, and German, and it fucking works. So where's the problem in the world? Why can't we make it work with one another? It's because you have somebody in between us trying to split us apart. And I'm talking about the politicians. Interestingly enough, our taxes have been raised now. What used to be 38%, they are now up to 47.5%. And if you caught some of the videos and things that are happening today on the 8th of January here in Germany, you will see that the people have had enough. They have had enough. Canada has had enough. America has had enough. There are more and more countries that are telling the politicians to go fuck themselves. Fuck themselves. Because they are not interested in your interests, they are interested in their interests. And they could give 2 shits about what happens to you or what happens to me. And the thing that really bursts my fucking bubble is that they're touching our children. Now, I will not deal with that shit. Okay? That is fucking off the wall. These people, you know, I've posted a book a couple of times. Pages, which was taken off the air because he said fake news, fake news, fake news. And everything that's fucking happening today with marriages, homosexual marriages, this and that they're taking the children away. They will indoctrinate our children and stuff like that. Parents will not have a word to say about how their kids are brought up. This is all happening in front of our faces, and they're telling me that this is fucking lies. This is fake news. What are you, out of your fucking mind? You know something? And these are things that are really blowing my mind. And I've had enough too. I don't care. I don't know how long I'm going to live, but at this point, how do they say? Never piss an old man off, because he won't spend that much time anyway in fucking jail. Okay? So for me to spend a lifetime, what do I got? Maybe 10 years? Okay? So if you bust my bubble, I'm going to fucking bust yours 2 times as hard. So now, getting back to the subject. So you know where your tax money are going and what these guys in politics are doing and how, because we pay them, they fucking work for us. Okay, but I'll get to more of that in a minute. Oleg and I we went to Ukraine. We left Germany at 7 o'clock in the evening on a Friday. That was the 22nd of December. And we drove through the Czech Republic. We drove through Slovakia. We drove through Hungary. And then we got into Romania. And we drove straight down to the border of Ukraine in the middle of a fucking snowstorm, man. 35 hours one way behind the wheel. I was beat, man. And I got to tell you, the car that we drove in, Peugeots, their seats are so garbage, man. They're not made for sitting longer than 10 hours on the seats, man. And anyway, we finally made it. And we got a hotel in the region of Bukovina. And we were staying in a town, Radowitz is the name of it. We passed through Suceava. We were also, as a matter of fact, where you saw the tractors, all those tractor trailers, that was from Sarit, Romania, all the way down to the Ukrainian. 40, 50 kilometers, it had to be at least. And the thing is that's so crazy about it is that they stopped them before the next town and on the outskirts of the town so that the town wouldn't be blocked from all the tractor trailers that were trying to get into Ukraine. The regular wait was about, as they said, because I spoke to a couple of the truck drivers, anywhere from 2 to 4 days wait to get into Ukraine. So we were staying in Radowitz, a small town, because one of Oleg's school friends was also, he rented an apartment. He was there with his family because he works in Holland. And I had the opportunity to meet him. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of some coffee here. And I asked him, I said, well, you're here with your family. They're Ukrainian. Why aren't you at home or going into your country? Although he has family there, he's 45 years old. He can't go into Ukraine because as soon as he shows his passport on the border, the military police are going to grab him, separate him from his family, sit him in a car, and fucking ship him off to the front. And the thing that's crazy about it, because I spoke to the border police, and I also spoke to people when I went into Ukraine, the ages between 16 and 65 are not allowed to leave the country. They have to serve on the front fighting against the Russians. But that's another story, and I'll get to that in a minute. So I asked Oleg, I said, you know something? Hey, we got all this stuff. You brought all these things for your mom and things like that. Are you going to go into Ukraine with me? He says, I can't go. I can't go because they won't let me out. So what Oleg did is he brought me to the border of Ukraine, and I went into Ukraine with my American passport. And they were asking me, well, why are you coming here? I says, I'm trying to get some of my fucking tax money back. Even though I didn't even get any, I never took any advantage. I never took one fucking cent from any of the stimulus checks or nothing like that. I was working. I was making my own money. Why the fuck should I take advantage of that? I don't do shit like that. Well, anyway, I get there, meet his mom for the first time, meet his aunt, meet his sister, um, all these things. And they accepted me with open arms. Naturally, I know the language, um, and I could communicate with them. So, just to give you a little bit an idea of what I experienced in the Ukraine, besides all the fucking military people on the border sitting there and checking passports and double checking and stuff like that, I got into the town of where Oleg was born. It's called Gerts, Ukraine. It's directly on the border. It's 5, 6, maybe 10 kilometers from the border of Ukraine and Romania. And I was greeted with open arms. Oleg's sister picked me up, and they took me to their mother's house. Absolutely beautiful piece of property, beautiful house, absolutely wonderful people. If you know, for people that know me from school, for people that knew my parents and things like that, basically the same thing. Door is always open, and as soon as you come in, you have to eat. You have to eat, and you got to do a shot of vodka. Basically typical stuff like that. Um, Even though we're only 10 kilometers from the border of Romania, um, every morning, uh, also during the afternoon, lunchtime, evenings before you go to bed, um, sirens going off of a possible air or rocket attack. There's hasn't been any strikes or anything around this area. Kiev is about 4 hours, 5 hours away from where they live. And that basically freaked me out. I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is going to throw bombs here or something like that? And they said, no, 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 it's quiet here. But with the sirens, you kind of get used to it and you just go about your day. So, yeah, I took it upon myself to go into a town called the next largest city from where Oleg was born. It's called Chernovitsa. They call it the Ukrainian Paris. Absolutely beautiful. I have pictures on Facebook that I posted during that trip, traveling through the Carpathian Mountains and things. Well, anyway, the town of Chernovitz, absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Um, I had some conversations with young people on the street, young men, and I asked them how things with this war and everything's going on, how things are working out with them. Aren't they afraid, or whatever it may be? Um, Basically, they told me it's not that bad in their city, although there are people being picked up off the street. Um, some of them said, well, it's not that bad yet. But anyway, um, what freaked me out is that there's something a little bit more heavy duty going on in the Ukraine right now, because it reminds me of what my parents were telling me at the time, because both of my parents, my mother and my father, were World War II children that came to the United States. My father came from Germany as a little boy. Well, actually, he was older. I think he was what, 17, 18 years old. 1950, they left from Bremerhaven with the whole Rudzinski family and came into the United States on December 1950, Christmas Day. Crazy, huh? And my mother, after the bombing of Berlin, she left with her mother and her brother and her little sister, and they were brought, or meaning that after or before the end of the war, they moved to Brazil, as many others at that time. I had uncles that came from Venezuela, Ukrainians. So basically everybody was scattered all over the world, but basically South America and the United States. Well, my dad served in the military, so that's how he got his American citizenship. But getting back to the point that I was trying to make, the former National Socialist Party in Germany was called, at the time of Adolf Hitler, it was the NSDAP. Exactly these how do you say these methods of looking for Jews at the time is what the Ukrainian military is now using in Ukraine to get people into the war. I saw it with my own eyes. A fucking military comes on the door, knocks on the door, you open the door, and they say, without a warrant, a search warrant or anything, right into your house, down into the cellar. Two guys will go upstairs into the bedrooms and stuff like that to see if you're hiding anybody. If you're hiding maybe your grandson or your son. No? Now they're starting to go after your daughters. And this is what we're fucking sending our money for? Are you fucking out of your mind? Over 250,000 Ukrainians are fucking dead. Why? Because the United States and the rest of the fucking Western countries are sitting there and waving their dicks. It's a fucking dick fight. Do you understand that? This is the same thing that George Carlin always talked about. War is nothing but a fucking dick-waving fight. My dick is bigger than yours. Oh no, well, his dick is bigger than ours, man. Let's fucking bomb him. And that's exactly what's going on. And this motherfucker Zelensky, right? As soon as he got the support from the United States, which half of it or a part of it went to Israel, what did he do? He has some fucking insider people, man, buying him $1 million yachts. Interestingly enough, he's got his American passport now. And then you got people like Joe Biden that are going to sit there. Hey, look, why isn't the United States supporting the Ukraine as much as they used to? Because they know it's over. They fucking lost. Half of the people, half of, how many generations? 2-3 generations have been fucking annihilated. And BlackRock sits there, and now they say they've invested so much money into Ukraine that they're already talking about how to rebuild it. People, I don't know if you realize this, but we're fucking being lied to left and right from all these people saying, yeah, we're protecting and we're doing democracy. You know something? I can understand helping other people in need. But why is it that if you look at all the wars that the United States was involved in and still is involved in, why is their main theme always to change the governments? It's because they're only interested in their interests. Now, I'm going to ask you, I'm an American citizen. I'm not interested in running an African country. That's why they're fucking chasing the French and the Americans out of Africa, because they've had enough. You were robbing their resources, and now they said no more. Do you understand that the smartest move? I'm not a Putin fan. No, I'm not. I don't like any politicians. I think they're all full of shit. Okay? It's just a different bowl. That's the only difference. Okay? They're all full of shit, but it's a different type of pot in where the shit is in, yeah? But I gotta tell you, he's not cutting the penises off of Russian boys. Neither is Xi Jinping. He doesn't cut off Chinese boys' dicks. Yeah? It's all these different things that are going on, man, that I just have no understanding for. The thing is that when I was in Chernovitsa, in this Ukrainian town, I think one of the biggest things that fucking blew me away is that if you have any idea on what the Prava Sector or the Azov battalion is, fucking Nazi troops. Nazi troops that were, at the time of the Second World War, supported Bandera, killed Jews, killed their own Ukrainians that didn't follow their insight, political insight. And these are things that are facts. I also took pictures. I was walking through Chernovitsa, and you see government buildings with this red and black flag hanging, which is the sign of the right sector, the Nazi group. Okay, I'm not going to call it Nazi group because I'm going to say it again. If you take the letters NAZI, okay, Germans at this time of the Second World War were National Socialists. So, thinking sensibly, if I would take those two words and abbreviate them, it would be NASO, Nazo. But then you look at people like Netanyahu and that whole pack. They admit that they're Zionists. So now take National Zionist and use the first two letters of each of those words. What do you have? Nazi. Something very obvious, but people don't see that. So, anyway, I spent time in Ukraine with Oleg's family, and Christmas, some dinner, only 2 days, but I had a chance to see everything that's going on. What we did is that, being that Oleg's mom and his aunt, elderly women over their mid-60s, 70s already, they came over the border with me to see their son. because he can't go into Ukraine. Otherwise, they're going to fucking ship him away. How insane is that? You can't even go into your country. I mean, look, we had a draft in Vietnam. I missed it by a year and a half. Okay? Fact is that they didn't come knocking on your door and going through your house like the fucking Nazis did in World War II here in Germany, looking for Jews, and search your basement and under the doors and beneath the house and whatever the case may be, trying to get those people to come out from hiding. You went to jail if you didn't, when your number was pulled in and you didn't go. Best example is Muhammad Ali, or the others took off to Canada. That's why you have all these people leaving Ukraine, because they're worried about their own lives, you know? And then when you start looking at this whole situation, I got to talk about January 6th. What is it, third anniversary, where these people all stormed into the White House and stuff like that, man. I mean, what kind of garbage is that? That's a crock of shit. But the thing is that what they're finding out right now is that there were PSYOP operators, CIA and fucking FBI, undercover agents that started that whole fucking ordeal. Okay? Same thing that happened in 2014 in Maidan. Those people that started shooting were fucking PSYOPs. Now, if you haven't got that in your head, I can't help you. I can't help you. You are a lost soul. You are a lost soul. I can't help you anymore. But these are facts. These are facts that are coming out today in the news, and everybody is seeing it, that we're being fucking lied to from front to back, and we're being manipulated. And what the world is doing today is, with all these fucking mRNA vaccinations and all this other bullshit that's going on, is that just like Uncle Kill Bill Gates said, the guy who was fucking around on Epstein's screwing little girls, is depopulating the world. Do you want to know something? With the complete world population, it's been proven, if you took them all and put them into Alaska, the rest of the world would be empty. The whole world population would fit into Alaska. Okay? We've got a world population of 8,065,000,000, somewhat. And here's another one that you're going to have to swallow with a hard pill. These 8,065,000,000 people in part were all born from women. Yeah? 0 from men. Get that in your fucking thick skull, finally. Men being pregnant. Get the fuck out of here. I wish I had some of those drugs. Unfucking real, man. Unfucking real. How could somebody be so off the wall? I can't explain it. But what's going on, folks, why this is all happening, is because the world reserve currency is dying. And places like the euro and the American dollar, the people that are running it, the Federal Reserve, everybody's fucking grasping for their last breath before they drown. What happened during World War II? We had the Great Depression, right? What happened after that? First, Adolf Hitler was financed through the Rockefellers, through their Shell Oil, and all these fucking creeps. because he had no money. But everybody financing. Same shit that's going on in Ukraine right now. The reason why that war is going on is because you have companies like Chevron and Shell that invested over $8 billion exactly where they're fighting right now so that they could do fracking. Poroshenko, Yatsenuk, they all sold the fucking country out. And they're gone. What do they have? Canadian passports or something like that? They're somewhere laying in the sun these days. And the same fucking thing is going to happen to Zelensky. And you know something? He's got an American passport. He's going to come to the United States. Yeah. And he's going to have security, section that's going to be protecting him here in the United States. And you know what? We're going to be paying for it again. The American people. Yeah. Some of that stuff it's hard to devour it, because when you know exactly what's going on and you see it right before your eyes, it rips my heart apart. It rips my heart apart, because who suffers the most? It's the kids. It's the kids, man. All you got to do is look at Dresden. What happened during World War II when the Englanders, when Great Britain was dropping all those firebombs. They had a pile of fucking kids in their Halloween and carnival costumes that were fucking burnt to a crisp. You don't want to see photos like that, right? I got a book. I can show you all of that. And that's what these scumbags are doing again. And you're paying for it. You and I are paying for it. Now, here's the next craziness. Now, check this out. Now, Germany, okay, I understand you have a crisis on the border. 8 million people in the United States illegally. 85,000 children not accounted for. Nobody knows where the fuck they are. That's because Mayorkas is doing a wonderful job. Now, as a Ukrainian, if you come to Germany and apply for asylum, you're automatically taken into the social system. That means that you're getting at least 1,000 euros a month per person. For those that are living in the United States, that's 1,190 dollars a month for nothing. That's number one. Oh, you need an apartment? No problem. We'll give you an apartment up to 120 square meters. And in Berlin, if it costs 2,500 euros, let's take that a step further. That's approximately 2,760 US dollars. No problem. We got you covered. So, healthcare is being paid for. Schooling is being paid for. What have you not? Now, here's the problem. Let me explain to you the problem. I have 2 Ukrainians working with me, Oleg and my other partner, Sergey. They're registered here in Germany. They're registered by the tax offices. They're registered in handwork organization here. They have a card that says that they're legally allowed to work. And they're fucking losing 47.5% of their pay now. Because of the new tax orders that were put down on the 1st of January, 2024. Now, I'm going to ask you, how do you think these Ukrainians that are working an honest fucking job, paying their taxes, paying their medical bills, and so on, are going to feel towards their countrymen, that are coming here in their number one Audi A7, GMC SUVs, Porsche Panamera turbos, and all these fucking Jaguars and what have you not, and getting this money shoved into their fucking butthole. How do you think these Ukrainians that have to give up 47.5% of their tax money or the money that they earn for taxes, how do you think they're going to feel about their own people that are coming here to Germany? Switzerland did a smart thing. They said to the Ukrainians that come over the border, oh, you have a car? Sell it. Because your car costs at least 120,000 euros, which is about $150,000. Huh? With that money, when you sell your car, you'll be able to support your family for about a year or two, if not more. So, and unless you do that, no fucking support whatsoever. Real simple. I see that. I see that before my very eyes. That's the same thing that I saw at the hotel for these gentlemen that are afraid to go into their country because they're going to be sent on the front. Driving their brand new fucking automobiles that a normal person, a normal working person cannot afford. Where the fuck are they getting that money from? Oh, maybe it's because all the weapons that were being sent to Ukraine, some of them are being stolen. A little bit of black market hoo-ha, or however you want to call it, is going on there right now. The fuck? This is what's going on in Europe right now. And if you're asking yourself why the Germans have had enough, I guess it's kind of self-explanatory in the meantime, isn't it? Yeah? And then on top of that, the migrants. The thing is that what's really interesting, and I have all my respect, the Turks that live in Germany, people that are hardworking people, it doesn't matter what race or what color, they do it. My respect to them. Even now, Muslims are sitting here in Germany and saying that they have had enough of the politics that are going on here in Europe. Because this genderism is starting to go on here. And I will be damned if I let that happen to our children. Anyway, my support goes out to the farmers. I'm not working today. Fuck them. I'm with them to shut down Germany. Because the next thing, nothing is moving in Germany. Nothing. It's fucking shut down. Now, if you really want to shut down Germany, the next thing would be, is that being that they're spending money here, sending it to Ukraine, sending it to Israel, and this and that, and every migrant that comes over the border gets a brand new telephone and a credit card with fucking 3,000 euros on it and the whole thing. How about if we stop paying our taxes? Tell them to go fuck themselves. Let the people that work in those offices go out and make the money so that they can pay the government to keep it rolling. If we do that, then we got them by the fucking necks and they can't move anymore. Where are they going to put 80 million people? I don't think we have enough jails for that. But you want to stop the government? You fucking shut off the water hose so that they have nothing to drink, so that they go thirsty. And that's when you win. That's why things like physical silver, physical gold, cryptocurrency, different assets, housing, it's an up and down situation. Because I don't want to look, everybody in the United States, now the mortgage rates are going up so high at the moment is that people are losing their houses. They can't afford to pay them. They can't afford to pay the fucking mortgage on a house. So, just like some people I know, they said that the American dream is dead. And, you know, the fact is that when you talk about the American dream, just like George Carlin once said, it's called the American dream because you need to be asleep to believe it. People, there's a lot of things going on in the world. And if you love your children, if you love your family, we need to be men. We need to stand up and shut it down. Not violently, but if you use your brain to shut down the government to where they can't move, because we are the employees, the employers of the employees. And if we stop paying them, they're going to go thirsty and they're going to go hungry too. So what are you going to do? I know what I'm doing. And I'm showing face right now that I put a stop. Supporting my brothers in arms that are working on construction sites. We put a stop to it. I'm hoping for a change. I don't want to have my boys, when they grow up, that's another story. I'll tell you about it sometime. I don't want my boys, when they grow up, and they ask me, hey, Al, what did you do in 2024 when Germany stood still? I'll be able to say, I was out there fighting for your future. Are you that kind of dad? Are you that kind of man? Or are you wearing a skirt and high heels and being a pussy? Fucking wake up, people. The shit is getting heavy. It's time for us to make a sign. So I got that off my chest. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what you heard, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. But I said my mind. I used my constitutional right, First Amendment, and I said what I had to say. I'm going to do another video in German, talking about the same thing again, except in a different language. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking the time to give me a listen. I hope maybe to have reached at least one or two people. But it's time for us all to come together, because without one another, we're not going to make it. And we are more than they are. Peace out, brothers and sisters. Stay strong. And we're in this together. United we stand, divided we fall. When we stand united, no one falls. Wishing you a good week, and I hope that I made some sense. Until next time, Amok out.